So what I wanted to talk about today is growing up in Russia. So I moved here when I was 10 years old. I spoke zero English, and I learned English watching cartoons on Nickelodeon. I watched the Fairy Godparents. I watched SpongeBob. So this will be like part one. I'll do other parts if you guys are interested. I moved from a city that was in the southern part of Russia, not like Moscow or St. Petersburg. And I moved straight to New York, but on Long Island, and all the way at the end where there was like no people, not a city, it was like the woods. It was a huge culture shock for me. We lived, it was my mom and I, and we lived in a studio apartment, and we moved into this big house. For me, it was like 3 or 4 bedrooms, huge backyard. My mom got remarried, that's when we moved. And again, like a huge culture shock. I couldn't eat for the first year, like living in the US, because all I was eating was potatoes, like French fries. Everything was weird to me. I couldn't eat steak because it was, to me, undercooked at the time. It's because it was like, I thought it was blood coming out. So anything like medium or medium rare, I didn't eat. All the vegetables were tasteless to me because I was growing up in an environment where nothing was like sprayed with pesticides. I couldn't eat like salad, lettuce. Those things were not a thing where I grew up. Nobody ate lettuce as a salad. And like we ate other salads. Maybe I'll post some pictures here. It was a huge culture shock. However, I went from living in like a big city where I could just walk out my door, be with my friends, even though I lived in a studio apartment with my mom. She was a single mom all my life, to this apparently gorgeous town called the Hamptons, whatever. And I had like no friends. I couldn't speak the language. I couldn't go outside and play with anyone. And it was honestly kind of depressing now looking back, but I didn't feel depressed at the time because I had all these new things. For example, I had a computer, I had my own room, I had a television that I could watch all the time. It was all these things that I didn't have access to. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I think for people who have faced adversity in their life early on, especially in their childhood, they probably didn't even realize it was adversity. I know I didn't. And because you are growing up in that environment, you appreciate life a lot more, and small things tend to not bother you. For a lot of people, having a bad day is their phone is like not working, and that's a bad day. For us, having a bad day was like not having food on the table. The reason why I'm sharing is because I'm complaining about stupid shit.